Let's talk about the new stimulus check package. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. A lot to cover this morning. Let's hit the updates. Remember, you still have 12 hours left to take advantage of the YouTube Make Money From Home pre-sale, which changes tonight. Link below. First, facing the July 31st calendar end date, which today is July 31st, for the unemployment boost, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows offered a $600 per week extension for the unemployment boost for 4 months. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer rejected this offer, saying they want to negotiate a complete package and not a piecemeal deal. They want to see money for testing, treatment, and tracing, and they want to see money for state and local governments. They want to see stimulus checks. They want to see the unemployment boost, as well as repairs to the mortgage forbearance issues that we've been seeing with banks taking advantage of people. These are issues that the HEROES Act deals with, and this is why Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are digging in their heels, saying no to a piecemeal deal. Yesterday, the Senate tried passing a 7-day extension for the unemployment boost at $200 per week. Nancy Pelosi says this is not what 7-day extensions are meant for. She believes that 7-day extensions are meant for when you're close to passing a larger package and you're just waiting for, say, the Congressional Budget Office to come in and, give their blessing, or attorneys to review everything. 7-day extension, when they're not even close to passing a larger bill, is unacceptable to Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They go on to say that Republicans don't understand the enormity of the crisis Americans are facing now, especially with millions of children, quote, food insecure. And Republicans don't realize how big this needs to be and how important the HEROES Act is, which again would have authorized more money for testing, treatment, and tracing 10 weeks ago, when we had half as many deaths in the country as we do now. Mitch McConnell is upset that he's being pressured to accept the $3 trillion HEROES Act, which he calls a liberal wish list. The HEROES Act would have also given $1,200 stimulus checks to filers and $1,200 checks to dependents, as well as pushing the $600 boost through January 31st, and in some cases, it would have pushed that out to March 31st. We already know that 19 million Americans are on unemployment, and that the unemployment filings have been ticking up for the last 2 weeks in a row. Also, if you have not yet received your backdated unemployment pay that was authorized in the CARES Act, remember, you are still eligible to receive your retroactive pay. So don't get discouraged if you haven't received your money yet. You're in a boat of about 35% of people who still have not received their retroactive pay. So if your claim has not been approved yet, you are still eligible. Additionally, some of you may still have to put in your last certification on August 2nd, and you'll still be able to claim one payment. And many of you have already, though, put your last certification in on July 26th, which means you are now at the whims of Congress finally getting something done. Regarding the Senate has taken off for the weekend. They're literally taking Friday off. What is this, like early release? This gets my blood boiling a bit and really makes me want to make sure I still have my life insurance up to date and my 2 free stocks with Webull. You could get both of those in as little as 5 minutes via the links down below. Make sure to deposit $100 with Webull to get your second stock. In trying to solve the situation, Trump and the White House are now working with Democrats and leaving out Senate Republicans. Trump has now mentioned that he's willing to move forward on a deal without liability protections even, which is a red line for Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. It's really like we have 3 negotiating parties here. Instead of worrying about liability protections now, Trump wants to focus on an eviction ban extension and an unemployment extension, which is obviously important for tenants and landlords alike. Moving forward, during emergency negotiations yesterday, Chuck Schumer discussed repealing the SALT tax limitations. This is a benefit that would highly benefit those in high-income states like California or New York, or in high property tax states like Texas, given the federal limit on state and local tax deductions of $10,000 per year. Democrats want to remove this limit. Republicans want to keep it. Republicans say that Democrats want to stuff their bill with liberal wish list items, including money for the cannabis industry and for inmate release from prisons, along with the SALT tax deduction. Nancy Pelosi says the cannabis industry is a type of therapeutic related to COVID, but that the FBI building has nothing to do with COVID, and the massive bailout worth around $150 billion to commercial real estate high rollers was also not related to COVID, yet slipped into the CARES Act. Mark Meadows says Democrats haven't had an offer on the table, that Democrats should just give us an offer, to which Democrats say, we did. We gave you the HEROES Act 10 weeks ago. Nancy Pelosi also calls the CARES Act a corporate trickle-down bill and now wants a people trickle-up bill. A big talking point here is that Republicans and Fox News are saying, quote, Democrats want people to make more money staying at home on unemployment than working, saying that the unemployment boost disincentivizes people from working. While this might be true for some, especially anecdotally, so far economists and the data point to the benefits of a proper extension for the unemployment boost, and that the benefits are far more important than the risks of potentially some people being disincentivized, especially as a lot of industries are still shut down. Retail and hospitality have massive lack of demand, and there just isn't a need for as many employees. Remember that right now we have about 19 million people on unemployment, and we only have about 4.5 million jobs available. That leaves over 3 people for every job available unemployed. By the way, if you want more details on economists' arguments on the $600 boost, I made a separate video, which I will link down below. Kevin McCarthy, who's the Republican leader in the House, is complaining that Democrats are trying to sneak in protections for China. Republicans want to punish China and hold China accountable for allegedly hacking our elections and hacking our vaccine research. Republicans say Democrats are blocking that. Republicans accuse Democrats of trying to protect China. Republicans are dead set on saving money here, and they're using every angle possible to squeeze Democrats to get off of the HEROES Act and pass their version of a bill. Speaking of savings, if you like saving money on home improvements, I announced a special partnership yesterday with a very large home improvement chain to work with course members on receiving an extra 8 to 25% off many of the products for sale in that home improvement store. This is a special for group members. Usually you have to join like building associations to get in on this. And now we have that for a bonus for all course members. Doesn't matter which course you get, I will have that option available for all course members. Just make sure to refer to lecture section 1 for details on that. Nancy Pelosi, by the way, associates absentee ballots with vote by mail. I personally am not quite sure about this. I personally receive an absentee ballot in the state of California. It's very common out here. And I take that ballot and I drop it off at the elections office. So I get my ballot by mail, but once I sign it and I fill it out, I bring it in. I personally, and this is just obviously just me and my family, we've never not received our ballot, but we've also never put it in the mail once it was signed. So I guess I can't really comment on that, but I don't know, maybe that's just common out here. Is that common in your area to take the ballot and just go drop it off? I don't know. Anyway, in COVID news, the CDC is now warning Congress that there will be significant public health consequences if schools don't reopen. Their rationale is that 7.1 million children receive their mental health services at schools and many more receive nutritional support at schools. We're currently seeing an increase in drug use and suicide amongst adolescents especially. Coronavirus cases, COVID-19 cases, ticked up to 68,543 yesterday, with deaths down slightly to 1,231. Searches for COVID and coronavirus symptoms are trending downwards on Google. Thank you so much for watching this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you like these recaps and updates. Folks, get your YouTube course, use that pre-sale coupon code down below, and we will see you next time.